everyone. This is Stephen with Democracy Demythologized, and today we're talking with Adriana. Adriana lives in Reenes, France. I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. I'm just not going to be able to say the R in French. But she works in Reenes, where she has been a project manager with the city government. And today she's talking about her experiences managing the budget of a quote unquote priority neighborhood, so like an under-resourced neighborhood in Reims, France, and talking about her experiences doing that. She focuses on the importance of listening to people in marginalized communities and how to build sympathetic policies and how to navigate the political system within France to be able to do that effectively. Well, I hope you enjoy. Hello, everyone. I'm here with Adriana. Audrey, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, and you?
I'm doing well. I guess we're both currently on vacation in Australia, traveling around. But normally you do a lot when you're not just kind of relaxing in the sun. You do a lot with politics in France, in the city of, and I'm going to say this wrong. I'm going to say this very much like someone from the U.S. from Reenes. Do you want to maybe talk a little bit about what you do? You might also have to help with my very poor French pronunciation.
Mm-hmm. So I'm from Rennes.
Rennes. Say it again.
Rennes.
Rennes.
But the R is really hard. But Rennes. And I'm trying to do a lot of things in political stuff, foundation, association. So, you introduced me really well.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. So maybe could you talk about what you've been currently doing with the council, and then what it's like, just kind of what the situation is like in this part of the world?
Yeah. So right now, like in France in general, it's pretty complicated because we're trying to deal with the government and the assembly, and then the prime minister keeps changing. So it's really hard to settle and think about the future of cities, because the cities depend on the state and the budget of France. So as a citizen who is really involved in a neighborhood foundation, I think we could say that, organization, it's really hard to have a project that involve money, because we don't know if we're going to get money from the state. So it's really hard. I forgot about the question.
No, I mean, it does sound hard. There is some also funding confusion in the U.S., let's just say, as things are shifting, but maybe in a bit of a very different way. Maybe can you give a bit of kind of an overview for for a listener for what kind of work you do in terms of building communities and on the council here in Reenes?
Yeah, so I'm doing two things at that time. I used to work for the city as a project manager, project coordinator for an event that's called Cet été à Rennes, which means this summer in Rennes. and it's 500 events in the city, mainly in poor neighborhood. I don't know if it's the right thing to say, poor neighborhood, but yeah, like kind of left out neighborhood, like from the state or the city. And I also have an organization that helps younger people who wants to work in music industry or just want to have fun in the studio and do concerts, shows, events in the public space, or not public space, but who prefer to do it in public space since it's free for everyone to come. Yeah, that's the two things I'm doing, and I'm looking forward to find a job like in the city council or just the city. Yes.
Yeah, this makes total sense. I mean, what is it? So maybe you can, I want to talk about actually each of those, but I'm going to do it one at a time. So the community that you were talking about, you said that it was, I'm trying to remember your exact phrasing, but you basically said it was kind of a sideline city, a sideline neighborhood in the city.
Yeah.
Why is that, and what's the history behind that?
So in France we got like a priority neighborhood. Like I don't know how to translate it, but we got priority neighborhood. That's how we call it in French. Because there's a need of more security, more education, more money for these neighborhoods. So in my city we got 5 of them, and I think it is 700 in France, 700 neighborhoods that are priority neighborhoods. So yeah, just neighborhood that needs more than other neighborhoods in the cities. Yeah. I don't know if I answered the question.
Yeah, no, this makes total sense. So it seems like it's not a priority in this priority system.
It is not, because like the government talks about we should help the people in need, we should help the neighborhoods, we should like keep making construction so they have more buildings, more stuff, but we don't need more buildings. Like we just need more access to work, more access to university for the people here. Like I think they're stuck in a state of mind that they think they can't do some things because they're so used to doing the same things, and yeah, like so sad.
This makes total sense. I have definitely seen this in many parts of the world where people will say, oh, this place is in need, therefore we need to do A, B, and C, and then they give a series of cookie cutter, almost bullet points of this, and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
How, as a project manager, what do you see the neighborhood as needing? Like, as somebody who's overseen so much work in this area?
I feel like we don't need to do that much construction and urbanism's changing. Like it's right now the government and the cities are really concerned about the urbanism of the neighborhoods, like how to change things, because they think if they change the landscape or the way of the people are living, this is gonna change everything. But I don't think so. Like it helps, but it isn't gonna change how people think and how they're feeling about the neighborhood. Like sometimes they don't even ask the inhabitants what do they think about the changing of the urbanism, and they're the one really concerned about it because they are living here and not the people deciding about that. Like, they just feel like they are not like heard, and I feel like people should be heard more because it's their lives. So yeah.
Yeah, this makes total sense. Something, I mean, I am kind of interested, something I'm very interested about with French society, and in terms of French cities, or like a smaller city like Reims, who, in your experience, like, are there certain, like, who tend to be the people who don't get heard? Are there people or things people who tend to get marginalized in these societies, or tend to make up communities that end up not being given the priorities, like you were saying?
Yeah, I think like it's again the rich people are not going to get hurt because I feel like they have more power to be heard. Like they know some people, they live in certain places that we know it's not going to be a problem if the building change. Like I don't know. I'm thinking in French right now. I think it's easier for them. Like when you live in a neighborhood that is priority and you don't feel like you're a priority, or maybe sometimes you feel like you're a priority, but it's more like a security thing because in these types of neighborhood they put the priority only on security and on the police budget. Like you can see around a lot of police officers, and they can get hurt from the police, but that's another topic.
Yeah, this makes total sense. I mean, I remember when I used to live in Chicago. So some of the neighborhoods I lived in Chicago, it was like the main presence that the city government had was the police. And there were others, like there were libraries and other things, but like it was like, oh, we need to ensure security. We need to decrease crime and this and that. And it felt very retributive. And it felt very like punishing to me personally in that area, but I think also to the people, to others who live there. Like it was kind of apparent. This reminds me of what you're saying.
Yeah, it's totally the same. Like, yeah. They make a big deal out of, like, in my city, it's mainly drug dealing. That is a problem. Yeah, it is a problem. I won't say it is not, but it is a problem. But they focus on that and they don't show all the good things that happen. Like, there is a lot of charity things that are going on, a lot of foundation that don't have enough money from the state, but they still do a lot of activities for the children here. They keep the children busy so they don't go into drug dealing. They just do so much, and I think that they don't have enough credits about that. So yeah.
Yeah, this makes total sense. And in these various things that they are doing, what role do you have as project manager overseeing all of the different initiatives?
So what I did when I was working in a city, it's like I was I was the link between every little foundation that did activities because the city cannot do 500 activities for the people, 500 events by itself. Sorry. So yeah, we had like more than 100 foundation association. I don't know what is the right word, but yeah.
Either's fine. I said either is fine in English.
Okay. I keep saying both. So yeah, I was like, if a foundation wanted to do a sport activity for like 5 days and didn't have any foundation, like money, I would like say, oh, we can give you this much money, but you can also go to the sports, like in the city we have a I don't know how to say it, sports like manager or something, like a building for all the sports events in the city, but it is only managed by the city people.
Okay.
So I would say that to the
We might use a word
foundation,
like gym or stadium or something like this.
yeah, but it's not only the buildings, it's also like all the people that work for it, that the
Okay.
yeah, like we got culture, sports, communication, like we could say sport office, like yeah, sport office. So I would say that to the organization, you could go to the sport office and ask what you need, like if you need like some people to help you with the kids, you can ask if they have some people free. If you need like a building to do something, you can ask if you can have it like for free. And yeah, it's just like, how can we help each other? Like, no matter if you're an office from the city or just a little organization with 3 people in it, like, it's just how can we get together to give a good activity, a good event to the inhabitants of the city. So yeah,
This makes
I really
total
like
sense.
that.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. What did you like about this?
It's just that it doesn't make any difference if you're a big organization or a small one. If we think your thing is going to be, like, if your project is going to be good for the people, if you think like it's new, or if you feel like you are doing such a great job at organizing your event, we're just going to give you the opportunity to do it. And we're going to help you as much as we can as a city member. Like, yeah, we're going to help you doing that. And, yeah, we just want, like, in the project of Summer in Rennes, it's just giving the people that don't go to holidays some of the good times they can have here, and make them like forget they don't go on holidays like other people. It is not a shame to not go on holidays. Like, you can do stuff here too. So yeah. So then when the kids go back to school, they don't say, "Oh, I did nothing." Like, yeah, I did that. We went there. Yeah.
Yeah, this makes total sense. It probably gives the kids something that gives them a lot of meaning that they can do, that they really enjoy. It gives them a sense of purpose in life, which is always good. And it's probably similar for the adults too. But yeah, I guess it seems like, from what you were saying before, and you might have to describe this a little more on the podcast, but like you're kind of debating between going and taking another route, maybe also and kind of doing some other things within the government. But maybe in that, I'm a bit curious, like, what have you learned in this current job? Maybe either about yourself or about like Reenes or French society overall.
I did learn a lot. First about myself, I've learned that I can lead people that are older than me. Like, I was working with people that are my mom's age. So when it's your first big girl job and you want to you just want to to make some not friends but like good colleague relationship, and you're here and you're having fun, but you don't want them to think like you're a child because I'm 25 and I'm not that young. I did some jobs before, and this was really a good job that I really like to do, and that I really want to do it again if I have the opportunity. But yeah, I learned that I can lead people older than me, and it's easy. Like, you just don't have to treat them like they're your friends, but also you have to keep it cool because it's a job. You have to be cool about it. Like, you have to be chill. You cannot organize everything. Even I'm organizing and coordinating. You cannot think about everything. Like, if something happens, you will find a solution, and that's okay. Like, everything's gonna be okay at some point. But yeah, I've learned that, and I've also learned that we can't give everyone everything. Like, even if we try, like, because I was doing the budget thing, it was really hard for me to say, oh no, you cannot have that much money, because we don't have any more money. But I always say, oh, we can't give you that much money, but I'm gonna figure something out. Like, maybe I could, like, find you a place, or find you someone you can help for free, or we can manage something. Like, I could try very hard, but it doesn't mean like they're gonna get it, because it doesn't rely. Everything is not relying on me. I have to ask other offices, other service, what do they think about it? Is it possible to do that kind of thing? So yeah, even if I want to say yes to something, like, sometimes it's just not possible, or we don't have enough money, or yeah. And also, my job was very hard because it was during the summer, and in France a lot of people are on holidays during summer. So I just kept like asking, oh, who should I call for that thing? And everyone said, oh, this person is in holidays right now. She comes back at that day. But I was like, yeah, but I needed it for tomorrow or in 1 week. So yeah, the organization in cities is really hard when one thing depends on only one people. Mm-hmm. Like, when the person is not here, you can't do anything about it. Just say to the other people, oh, she's not there, is not there. Mm. Yeah. And that is really annoying, because you want to help people, you want to do the things you're getting paid for, but it depends on another people. So yeah, so that's what I thought about working in a city. Yeah. I've also learned that a lot of people that are going to the free events, like, we are willing to give free food as much as we can. But sometimes when we give free food, like, some people are not happy about that. They say, oh, that's not a lot. Oh, I only had like a plate, and that is really also annoying, because you're trying your best. The real foundation that doesn't even have money give you free food, and you're complaining about it, the amount of food you have. And yeah, that's really frustrating. Yeah,
I could definitely see all of these. I mean, with the first things you said, I've had jobs where the primary aspect of my job was to say no, a lot. And you learn how to say no well, which, like you said, it's usually not just like no. It's like, no, but maybe we can do this instead. No, maybe we can do this instead. Because in those jobs I had very limited resources, and I couldn't say yes to everything, unfortunately. You had to prioritize when you have limited resources, whether it's money or something else. Yeah. I could also see I think each of the other things you're saying makes total sense. I guess it's unfortunate. I bet some people would just get more disappointed even though it's free. Maybe it's because that's their relationship with the food or with the service. Mm-hmm. Like they weren't necessarily a part of everything that goes on behind the scenes to make that possible in the first place. So for them, they just see that, and it's like they don't experience the work that gets put into it.
Yeah, and we're also really used to having free things, like a lot. As I said earlier, a lot of organizations do free things, like every day during holidays for the kids to get busy and do stuff. And parents are really used to letting their kids going to that events, and they don't even know where they're going. They just say, oh yeah, I think they're going there. It's free. You go, you come back whenever you want. And yeah, they're just used to things being free. And that really scares me, because at one point we're not going to be able to do free things anymore. Like, we are starting to see some organization that says, free entrance, but it would be great if you give like €2. And, yeah.
Yeah, this makes sense. I mean, you'll even see this online. I mean, look at Wikipedia. They'll put up please fund us, or any YouTuber with a Patreon page. Yeah, I guess. What's making it such that it would be hard to continue doing? Rephrase that question. Why can't they make it? Why can't they continue to do it for free? Or what's becoming unsustainable about that?
First, because a lot of people that are in the volunteering in the organization, they give the money out of their own pocket. Like, they have a work, and their salary goes into the organization, and that's good. Like, they spend their money how they want, but at some point it's making their life really difficult, because all they think about is, oh, I have to give to the organization so we can do something for the kids during holidays. And they're giving their time, their money, their energy, and people are complaining that's not really nice. And also because I don't think we're gonna have a lot of money for organizations in the next year budgets. So we have to make people understand that they can give €1 or €2 and still have the same thing for free, not for free, but yeah, just giving €2, and we're gonna manage how we deal with the money, because like the budget are going to get like cut half, I think. I think so. Like, we've seen cities without budget for culture, like art and everything, and it's scary. We have to organize. We have to organize before it happens. So yeah.
Yeah, this makes total sense. So one other question I had, a bit of a different direction. So before, you were talking about, maybe running for office, or being kind of incorporated on that side of things. What's your current vision there, or what's your current plan there? And maybe in explaining that, you might have to explain for a listener who doesn't necessarily understand how the French political system works, like how the elections work and in coalition building and stuff like that in a place in a smaller city like Rennes.
Yeah, so next year is gonna be the mayor election. So yeah, 2026. So right now, all the different parties are starting to to meet the inhabitants, to show them what they want to do, what they're already doing without any budget, who they are, simply like just introducing themselves to the people, going to the neighborhoods, markets, social events, community events, like whatever. And so, yeah, I really want to meet the people and see them. And I think it's mostly because they want to get votes, but also they want I'm referring to one party. I'm not really sure how I should talk about it, because I don't know if they want me to talk about it. But yeah, one party from the left side really wants to involve the inhabitants in the decision making. So how can you say that you want the inhabitants to be involved in it if you don't go meet them and see how they live and how they feel about politics, how they feel about their way of life, what do they want? Like, you have to go meet them at some point. And yeah, that's what we're doing right now. We're like the political parties in Rennes. And yeah, every inhabitant that wants to go to vote, they go to vote. That's a right. If you have the French paper, French citizenship. But you can also not go vote, and you can also like do a blank vote, like you put nothing on it. And yeah, so a lot of people in the priority neighborhoods don't really think if they vote it's gonna change anything. Like, they think the vote is kind of useless for them, because like there's a trust issue from the priority neighborhoods, and I think in general the French citizen, like in political people, like they think they talk a lot and they don't do anything about what they said they were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's in general, like everywhere, not only in France. But yeah, so I think the party I'm referring to, they understood that they have some work to do in neighborhoods, and mostly on young people, like from 18 to, I would say, 25, because this is the age they could vote and they can learn about political stuff and get involved in decision making, but they don't feel like it's their place to be. I mean, they can do that. Like, it's also their city, it's also their neighborhood, so they should know that they can get involved if they want to, even if it's not easy sometimes. Their voice matters. Like, yeah. Yeah,
this makes total sense. I mean, I think there are definitely parallels in the U.S. Like, there's really both major parties, but especially one recently, a couple months ago, has for the last couple months, I mean, has been doing a lot of work trying to understand, like, what do the youth want, and trying to, and I mean, it's probably a bit of a problem to phrase it that way, because you're making them into a bit of a them in that very phrasing, but that to me was the party's approach, almost unfortunately, but like trying to galvanize people who are younger, and it seems to be a bit of a, in the U.S. it's a bit of a, it's complicated how well that works, but I could see this in France and in Reims too. So like, yeah, in your experience, in your personal experience, like what do you see some of the kind of the biggest like questions or issues that younger adults might have that either result in them wanting to make political change, or that result in them getting discouraged and saying, you know, to heck with participating in either party politics or elections in the first place?
Yeah. I see a lot of younger people, like my age, younger, not, it's my age. So I see a lot of people of my age getting involved in political stuff, like they either want to study political science, or they're journalists, and they want to show the truth. Like they want to show how the people are reacting to, for example, the change of government. They want to show how the police is reacting to protest.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's really a question of security, inequality, also a little bit of ecologic insecurities they have. Like we try to do our best to have a good way of thinking about the earth and what we can do, but it's also very overwhelming because we are trying our best and we see other people not doing the same. Yeah, ecology, security, money, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Immigration. What about immigration?
Because some people feels like we should be more, like as a country, we should be more welcoming. Like it's not good to see people that are avoiding genocide or whatever. They're coming to our city to avoid that, and there are homeless people in our cities, and that is not fair. They live the worst in their country, and they come here and they are still living the worst we can live. Like you don't have a house, you don't know when you're going to eat, you don't know what is going to happen tomorrow, or even in an hour if you're gonna. Like you could have a place to stay, but you don't know for how long. And you can have children and still be homeless, and that is crazy.
Mm.
Like to me, it's crazy.
Mm. Yeah, and that connects to inequality, which is the other thing you were talking about, which is a big thing in the U.S. So, like, if people with jobs can still have difficulty being able to afford housing. I mean, I recently talked, in another interview, I recently talked to one of my professors who is now doing homelessness research in California, and this is a big thing. There are numbers of people who have jobs that still can't afford housing there. But that aside, or that connection, yeah. What do you see as some of the kind of biggest forces or aspects of inequality in Reims today?
I would say how the medias talk about different neighborhoods. Like they have their way of talking of priority neighborhoods. We know when it's a priority neighborhood, it's gonna be a headline about drug dealing, murder, I don't know. And when it's going to be in the, how can we say that, like, better neighborhood, like, it's going to be, oh, they did that, oh, this happened, or like, a girl opened the shop, we don't, like, it's good, but we don't care, and we also don't care about another headline about drug dealing in priority neighborhoods. This is not the only thing happening there. Like, yeah, like this is really impacting because a lot of people are only keeping track of actuality through medias, and if they show what they want to show, people will think what the media shows. Mm-hmm. And they won't try to find something else about that priority neighborhood. Like, they won't think, oh, people can do nice thing there too now. They just think, oh, don't go there. This is total insecurity. Like, you can be killed there. Like, I think I'm feeling that because my grandparents, they read newspapers every day. And, they know that I worked in priority neighborhoods, so each time I had an event there, they kept telling me, be careful, like, don't go out too late. But my job, like, needed me to go back late, like at 3 a.m. or something. And they were scared about it, like, they said, oh, you shouldn't do that. But it's a normal neighborhood, like, yes, you can see drug dealers, but yeah, I think this is, they think this is only happening in their city, and so they're really scared about it, but it's happening in a lot of cities, in a lot of countries, so yeah, we have to keep reminding the people that it's not only themselves, like, this is not a unique situation.
Yeah, this makes total sense. I mean, what this reminds me of, or maybe first real quick, I'm sorry, I'm kind of making the connection right now, but there are times in the U.S., one of the euphemisms we'll use, or I've heard used from time to time, is they'll talk about certain neighborhoods in cities in the U.S. as quote-unquote high need, like a high need neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing priority means seems to mean something very similar to this. It's a priority because it has a lot of needs. And that has the same, like, kind of baggage to it, to me. But, like, I remember, this reminds me, I mean, my neighbor, where I lived in Chicago, it was considered one of these neighborhoods by many people in the overall Chicago area. And people would frequently ask, because it was like normal when you would meet someone, you would ask them like where they live in Chicago. This was a pretty normal thing. And they would be like, oh, are you safe? And I would want to be like, I'm just as safe as you are. Like, but like their entire conception of it is like gang violence and drug dealing. And there are people in that neighborhood who do that stuff. But they're like a pretty small percentage of the population there. Like, they might be 1 to 2%, but I'm pretty sure at the end of the day they're under 1% of the population in that neighborhood. Like, they're a very small minority of people. And most people are going about their days, you know, going to work, going to school, going to the park, going to have fun, going bowling, you know, doing whatever the heck they do with their lives. But this is still often the narrative that's told. Or yeah, what do you think?
So I did a research, like I did my master degree, and I did a research about the neighborhood I grew up in. And
just to be clear, the neighborhood you grew up in, was that a priority neighborhood, or was that?
Yeah,
okay, I'm sorry. Keep going.
It's the biggest one in Rennes.
Oh no. Okay.
So yeah, and so I had to to read you like a history thing about insecurity and how people feel and live the insecurity right now, because there is insecurity. Like, we cannot deny it. But as I was younger, I could go everywhere without my mom being afraid of me being shot or something else. Like, I could enjoy my life in public space, going to see my friends everywhere in the neighborhood. But at one point, they had like a shooting in my neighborhood, and all the people were scared. Like, it's so unstable. Like, you can understand that, but like, drug dealing became such an important thing in the neighborhood that people were scared to go into public space. They were scared to use all the playgrounds, all the parks and everything. And I didn't live that because I was in another neighborhood. And when I came back to do my research, I saw that a lot had changed. They did like a lot of new construction, new buildings to meet others, new park, and we tried to make it like more welcoming for the families, I think. But the families are not really into going out right now. They prefer staying in their homes, and that's a real thing to work on as a city. Like, your people are scared of being outside, and all you talk about is like getting rid of drug dealing, which is a problem, but you have to focus on why these people are doing drugs dealing. Like, why they do that? Because they don't have job. Why they don't have job? Because they don't have access to education, and they don't feel like they belong to universities, so they don't think they can have a proper job. They don't think they can dream about having another job than that. And why they want to have a job that is getting paid less than what they're doing right now, and they have to take care of their families. But because I've seen 14 years old people getting money out of drug dealing and giving them to their families, because doing grocery stores is expensive. So here you go, mommy, here's your money. And the parents don't know how to deal with that. They don't know how to react because they need that money, but they know what the children are doing is not nice, it's not good, it's dangerous. So yeah, like, the problem is really deep, and it's not just they doing drugs in the streets now. So yeah.
Yeah, this makes total sense. And different neighborhoods have different experiences. So it's really sad that people don't feel comfortable in the neighborhood itself going outside. I think that's something to take very seriously, because that's different than, stereotypical perceptions of people from far away that just read the news. But yes, okay, so that is a very interesting thing, and I bet that would be very complicated. So, like, how did your grad school research, your findings here in school when you did research into this community, how did that influence your current work as a program manager? Did what you learned talking to people affect kind of how you build things now?
Yeah, it did. It did have an impact of how I was working, and I think that's what my manager, my boss, whatever, liked about it, because I had another angle, another way of thinking about these neighborhoods that we work in mainly. So I had more of a social way of thinking, like, oh, these people are going to like that. Oh, these people are not going to like that because they've seen that everywhere. This is not what they want to see. This is not what they want to do during holidays. They have enough of this or whatever. And this was also a really like challenging thing for me because I wanted to do what was good for the neighborhood, but also I could see a lot of things happening, like, oh, this organization is doing this for a lot of years, so they're gonna keep doing it and have the same amount of money from the state, but they do not give like 10% of their own budget to do it, and we're still gonna give them the same amount of money. And the smaller foundation, they give like 70% of their own budget, and we're only going to give them not a lot of money. And I think that was really hard for me because at some point things have to change, and we have to give like opportunities to others to do bigger things than they do now, if they want, if they have the need to do bigger thing. And I forgot the question.
No, you're totally fine. I'm gonna ask a follow-up question. You did actually kind of hit the question, but I'll ask a follow-up question that will tease out a specific detail of it. How was your perspective, given your experiences in your research in grad school and your experiences growing up in a different high priority neighborhood, how was your perspective on what the community you're currently working in, on what they need, and your approach to try to coordinate and help do things? How was your perspective on this different from your other colleagues who didn't necessarily have this background?
Yeah, so as I started this job, like I was like, oh, I have a little bit of power in my hand. Like I can help the people. I can help the people I know. I can help the people that have the same background as me. So I could do better because I understand them. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I felt like I understood the people, so I could be more like, I don't know, I could do more of what they want me to do, and what as a child I would love to do that. So yeah, like I was just trying to understand them maybe a little more than my other colleagues, even though they were like really understanding, like they love their job, and I think when you work in neighborhoods like that, you have to learn how to understand people, or at least just listen to them. But as I used to be one of these people, and I feel like I still am, I wanted to do what they expected me to be or to do, and it was really hard because, like as I said, not everything is on me, so sometimes I couldn't just say yes. But yeah, I think this is very the human side, like yeah, and maybe because I am younger than my other colleagues, so I'm really aware of what is the main subjects in younger people's lives, or what they think about, what they're doing. So I thought, oh, as I'm younger, I could make my other colleagues see what the younger people want and they need and what they can do in public space. And so, I was kind of the one, like, opening the other people's eyes about what is being a 20 years old in the neighborhood.
Yeah, this makes total sense. I mean, you probably have much more of an intuitive experience, but I also wonder if you like listening. I agree with you. I mean, that's as an anthropologist, I think the most important thing is to listen. But often, in order to listen, we have to really understand the humanity in the other people. Because if we don't understand the humanity, we don't listen. And I wonder if you're much, given your experiences, if you're much more like in line with somebody who you're much. I wonder if you, given your experiences, if you see the humanity in the people in these settings, whereas maybe some other people kind of see the communities as a problem or see the communities in other ways that prevents them from being able to see the humanity of the people who live there. Or what do you think?
At some point, it was really hard for me to see the community as a good thing. I would say, like, this was really hard for me sometimes because they put a lot of pressure on me, and I was like, oh, I'm the one deciding, so I do what I can and what I want. And I was starting to think a little bit like other colleagues, and I didn't like that at all, because at one point one of my friends said, oh, now you sound like them. And I was like, what? And I felt that really bad because I didn't know what was my place to be. Like, if I was working for the city, so I have to think like the city, or as I'm an inhabitant of neighborhood, I have to think like someone from the neighborhood and don't trust the city because that's what we used to do. So yeah, that was a strange place to be. And when my friend told me that, I was like, okay, I have to go back to where I belong. And so I spent a little time in the neighborhoods on the field for my work and spent some time with the people in the events. And I was like, okay, I'm doing this for them. So I have to keep in mind that even some people are not nice or don't act good or keep complaining, I'm doing this for them and I'm enjoying being useful. So yeah, because at one point I feel like I was only concerned about the budget and the city council and how things are going. And yeah, I was more focusing on the work part than the human part. Yeah.
How were you able to better reconnect with the human part during this kind of time where you were focusing too much on the budget and these other bigger questions?
I just went on the events and just see the people, how they react about the activities, the concert, the things. Just see that they were laughing, having a good time, and the work was done. They had a good time. For me, it was the only thing that mattered. Like, we don't care about how many people. If I see someone laughing, smiling, enjoying their time, and not thinking about, oh, I have to go back home and stay in my room. Yeah, I talked to the younger people too. Like, I really like the fact that I could talk to everyone and ask, oh, did you know about this event? Where do you come from? Like, yeah, just know how they ended up here. And, yeah, just to remind me that these things was useful. and that I was also useful.
Yeah, that can be really helpful. I mean, this reminds me of kind of one of the kind of memes that kind of went over the internet, became a bit cliche, but it was like, go touch grass, that kind of idea of like, go touch nature, go be with nature. And that is important. We do need to be with nature, but it seems like you actually kind of had your own version of it, which is like, go see somebody laugh. Like, go, you don't touch laughter, that doesn't make sense, but go see laughter or something. Like, go see how people are enjoying their lives, and maybe more of the ecological side maybe is important, but maybe also the social side of seeing other humans, particularly in the neighborhood that you're serving, but as they live their lives, and it can kind of put our own issues into a bit of a perspective, to see the rhythms of life and people in different stages of life. People just having fun at the park sometimes can be really helpful like that. Yeah, or what do you think?
Yeah, because at one point I was just stuck in my office making sure the budget was fine and that we still got some money in case something happened, and doing the paperwork because this foundation didn't feel the thing to have the money. So yeah, it was really hard being in the office and doing that. So I enjoyed a lot going to the events and just see people and just see how they love living their life, enjoying life. So yeah. Yeah,
it says something that that the government's jobs are basically so far removed from the actual day-to-day existence of people, but this happens. I mean, you have both the structural or marginalized side where many of the people from the government are probably coming from other parts of society and aren't necessarily thinking about this community as intimately, but then you also just have the logistics, budgets matter, and when you abstract things, that abstraction does matter. You do need to do it, but it changes your perspective over time. Bureaucracy, that's how it's one way we get bureaucracy. But it still says something, I think, about maybe Reenes and French society, maybe humanity in general. One final question I wanted to ask you, I'll ask it like this. If you had a magic wand and you could change any single thing about Reenes, and I know I'm saying it wrong almost every single time, but if you could change anything about, now I'm self-conscious of that. If you could change anything about Reenes as a society, and you have the magic wand, so you can assume that it passes the political apparatus, then they'll get approved that it will happen. So you don't have to worry about that. It's a change that you can guarantee will happen. What would you change?
I feel like I would change I would have the people to just understand each other, be more welcoming, more friendly, stop being so worried about individual thing. Just that, and I think everything is going to work out, I think. Because when you understand and you stop focusing on your own thing, you can see your problems are also some other people's problems, and that you can find some solution together. But it's very the happy thing, yeah. Yeah.
But you got to sit with people for a while before you realize that. Yeah, I have very rarely encountered a truly unique problem that a human has had that doesn't have some connection to other problems people have faced. As humanity, we're actually very both interconnected, but we actually face a lot of the same problems. So maybe we should work together in the solutions.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I think. Like, again, to keep up with the political thing, like for me, you should, like, the politic men and women should more go to see the people and see how they live. Like, there's a video of I don't remember the name of the girl, but she was like from the right party, right wing. So she was thinking a certain type of way, like, oh, people are, they just have to go to work and they can earn money and they can still live with the money they have. They don't need to be helped by the state with some money help. And so one guy invited her to work in the factory or something, and she realized that people really struggle to live with the salary they have, because she went to see what happened, and she was so sure she was right, and she was there, she met the people, she saw the reality. So yeah, she changed her mind, and now you can see her on TV talking about this experience. So yeah, I feel like every political people should do that.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I wholeheartedly agree. I realize I told you my last question, but I'm going to have one final question, because of course another one always pops into my head. So as we're talking, you're currently on vacation in Australia. That's how we met. So you're a little bit removed from the day-to-day grind of this job, and of your life in Rennes. Where you're at now, kind of relaxing in the sun in Australia, what do you think has been some of your biggest gifts in doing the work that you have done for you personally? Like, what are some of the biggest? What do you think the biggest gift has been for you working with these kind of?
I think that I've learned a lot about how the city is working, like how a neighborhood is working, because you also have a small neighborhood council with a neighborhood office state, we could say that, state office, don't mind my English. So yeah, I've learned about how decisions are made, and how some people are willing to work with the inhabitants, but sometimes it doesn't happen because higher people decides before it happens. And being on a holiday right now, I do miss really miss doing something for the city and feeling useful for the people that cannot be heard.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel a bit guilty that I can live this whole travel holidays, and some people are out there struggling with their lives. And I feel a little bit guilty and privileged. Yeah.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. And it's hard because, mental health is important. Relaxing is important. If you burn yourself out, you will not be of any benefit to people in the city or in the specific communities. That is the other end of that. But what you're saying makes total sense. And it's also like, for me, I sometimes struggle with, certain people do not have this opportunity, but is the opportunity itself bad? And I think seeing new parts of the world is not a bad thing, because it really helps us. And it's more of I wish they also had the opportunity, not I'm being self-indulgent in doing something that's benefiting me as a person. But at the same time, I can definitely get what you're saying. And I do think it does seem like dare I use this word, It seems like you have a bit of a vocation. It's like you grew up in one of these neighborhoods, you studied this, you studied stuff related to this in school, and now you're working in these kind of communities. It seems like I'm glad that you both kind of found what you're passionate about, but also I'm glad that you've been able to use your opportunities, like your education and things like this, to try to make the world around you better for people who might have a similar experience growing up that you did.
Yeah, you really sum up really well, because I'm really happy I found myself doing that, because at first I wanted to work in the music industry. It was always related to artistic thing, and when I enter in my master degree, which is creative approaches of public space, you could think it is urbanism or stuff like that, but it can be whatever you want it to be. So I chose it to be like more of a social thing, like how can people own the public space? It started all like that, like how do you own the public space? What do you do? What do you think about it? And if creativity can be a way to own the public space. So it started like that, and then I joined my organization, and then I realized we could do some things, like we can do things, and So when I started working, I was like, oh, so I was the little girl in this neighborhood who thought it was totally normal to be poor and count every single dollar, euros you have in your pocket just to end the month. And being with a single mom, I thought it was totally normal to live like that, because it was the normality in the neighborhood. But when I went to high school, I met some people from other backgrounds, and I was like, oh, so you're saying you're living your life in a house and having like a lot of money, and I'm living there, and so I didn't know anything about how people can have money. Like for me, it was only you can have money just to do grocery store, pay your rent, and sometimes having fun. But so I realized that, and when I started to work, I really wanted to make people realize in this neighborhood that you can do something else. Like you just have to try and maybe meet the right person, and you don't have to keep thinking that this is the normality. This is not normal. Like normal is whatever you think it is. So I don't know what am I saying, but I really like doing that.
Yeah, I mean, everything you're saying makes sense. I mean, this is only one thread of what you just said, but one thing I was thinking about was, I think this happens with kids because whatever environment people grow up in, that's often their normal for children. Even if it's, even in many cases, completely extreme environments like abusive households or other things, it's almost a type of normal for them because it's all they know. And it's often like what you said, it's often at school, and it could be high school. I think for some it's university. I actually think for me it was university, and in the US, for people who go to the university, you often like leave your hometown and go to a very different part of the US. So like you're suddenly in a different place. But like you experience different people's experiences, and you start to be able to situate more like, how does my experiences compare with theirs? And it can completely change people's perspectives. It's often when people realize, like, for people who don't, like, how quote unquote, for some, they realize, like, for me, I realize, like, how abnormal my experiences actually were compared to so many others. But at the same time, like, I could see, like, I grew up struggling with money, and then now a key part of your job is managing the budget of the city, where you're probably doling in money that is, like, deciding how to distribute money that is significantly more than what most people make in a year, because city budgets are like that. They dole a decent amount of money at times. Yeah, I bet that would completely change your perspective on things. Or even be a bit of a whiplash, too. Or what do you think?
I mean, my perspective on money really changed. And also because I started traveling, so I had a different relationship with money. And, because also when I went to uni, I was living by myself, and I had to pay rent. I had to pay, like, I understood why my mom said, "Oh no, we cannot go to McDonald's tonight. We get food at home." Like, I still say that to myself sometimes when I want to go eat outside. I said, "No, I got food at my hostel right now." I'm saying that, but and it was really difficult managing a lot of money. Like, you could buy a house with the budget, like, for the summer in Rennes. I think you could buy maybe 2 houses. I don't know. I don't even know how much you have to pay for a house. But yeah, I think it was that. And, I felt really proud of myself because, like, I've been from counting my money to giving money to other people. So yeah, and now I'm spending my money.
Yeah, how has travel impacted your how you think about money?
I understood that I don't have to keep saving. Like, when I started to work for just summer jobs or whatever, I kept saving the money, and I kept telling myself I have to save the money because I don't know what is going to happen. Like, maybe I will need it. And then I started traveling, and I said, "Oh, I used my money, my saved money." So, and nothing happened. I just kept enjoying myself, making memories. So yeah, like, it's not that a big deal of spending money, but since I was really struggling of spending my savings, because I'm used to having saving in case something happened, but life happens. So yeah, money comes and goes. Not in an easy way, but it comes and goes. If I have to go back to doing cashier in a grocery shop, I will go and make the money. I don't mind, but yeah, just it's made me realize that I have to enjoy life a little more and stop being worried so much about my saving and what if something happens, because obviously everything is going to happen to everyone. So yeah.
Yeah, this makes total sense. I mean, money, I think money is ultimately a tool. Money is ultimately something that enables us to do the things we want. And I think too often people kind of fall into a money is an end. I need to make money. And it's actually more like, I think it should be more like, what do you want to do with your life? And then how much money do you need to do that? And often in that, you actually find you need a lot less money than you might think to do the things you want in life. But it's more like, and I agree with you, I think travel kind of in various stages of my life has forced me to think about that more. You're more in the consuming side, but you're also more in the, like, you're dislocated from the acquisition of I want more and save. You're more like, you're focusing on your pleasure, and then you start to realize, oh, money is really a handmaiden to my fulfillment and the fulfillment of others around me. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess it's also when you travel, you have priorities. Like, oh, do you want to go to the restaurant, or would you prefer doing an activity that you cannot do anywhere else?
Mm-hmm.
It is a choice for me. Like, I just go to the grocery store and cook myself something, and then go to do the activity. And I still will have food in my tummy and be happy and be safe. So yeah. And also, I'm really struggling with the fact that I was in Indonesia, and some people kept telling the Indonesian people, "Oh, you should sell it cheaper." But I was like, "What's the point? Like, it's a few euros for you. It doesn't change anything." And yeah, it made me questioning about our relationship to money, because why do we feel the need to want it to be cheaper when it's only like €1 or less than €1 for us? It doesn't change anything for us, but for the people who are selling things, it changed a lot. Like, maybe they cannot have food tonight because we kept asking for less. And yeah, so yeah, I don't know the word in English when you say, "Oh, I want less," and keep negotiation.
We would say negotiation or bargaining is what
Yeah, that's the word.
Haggling is another one. Haggling is the actual argument of like you're saying $3 and I'm saying $1, and then you're saying $2.80 and I'm saying $1.20. That's haggling. The back and forth.
Yeah. So they really, like, I've seen a lot of people doing that in markets, and I'm really not comfortable in doing that. So I always end up telling whatever you want, and all my friends say, "But you could have got it for cheaper price," and I'm like, "What? It's only €1-2. I don't care if I've been able to come here and buy my flight ticket, I'm also able to give €1 or €2 more." Yeah, that's how I think. That's how I see it. But not a lot of people see it like that.
Yeah, this makes total sense. I think one thing, seeing different parts of the world, it also forces us to confront both how the world is different and how the global system is different. So like someone in the US or in France, these are both places that are very given a lot of opportunities and wealth economically, and there's still a lot of inequality. It's something we have been talking about in this conversation, but there's a lot of inequality within France, within the United States, but at the same time, when you see different parts of the world and you see and for me, when I see the different prices of things, it's almost, it kind of forces us to confront how the global, it's a way to see how the global system is, and it forces us to see how, okay, so money means something different the same amount of money means something different in these places. And what you're saying in response to that makes sense, but that's another aspect of international travel that can be very eye-opening.
Yeah. Well, yeah. My relationship with money changed.
All right. Well, thanks for taking the time to talk now. I you have a good rest of your vacation.
Thank you.
And I hope at least in a couple more of these days, you decide to do the life-altering experience while still going to the grocery store and getting food, maybe instead of the restaurant.
That's a good way to conclude this.